Welcome to Duo Reads, where we decode deep ideas and break down big books one page at a time. Today we're diving into a book that really lives up to its title, one that promises to shake you out of complacency and, well, into action. We're exploring Jen Sincero's You Are a Badass, How to Stop Doubting Your Greatness and Start Living an Awesome Life.
So at its core, this book offers like a powerful paradigm shift. It's about helping you pinpoint those often invisible self-sabotaging beliefs and habits. And then, arming you with clear, actionable strategies to move past them and finally live the life you've always envisioned. It really pushes you from merely wanting a different life to decisively making it happen.
Yeah, absolutely. And what makes this book stand out, I think, is its unique blend. You get these profound self-help principles, but also incredibly relatable anecdotes. And it's all delivered with this no-nonsense, often laugh-out-loud, humorous tone. It manages to make topics that could feel quite heavy or abstract surprisingly accessible. It's aiming for genuine aha moments, but without any of the preachy or overly sentimental vibes you sometimes find in the self-help genre.
Absolutely. And Sincero structures the journey brilliantly, too. She starts by helping you understand how you got this way, then transitions into how to embrace your inner badass, moves on to how to tap into the mother lode. And finally, she gets really practical with how to get over your BS already and ultimately how to kick some ass. It's a pretty comprehensive pathway, right? From self-awareness right through to decisive action. So, okay, let's unpack this right from the beginning, because Sincero really emphasizes that our current reality often isn't just like external circumstances, but it's a direct manifestation of these deeply ingrained subconscious beliefs. It's almost as if we're operating on an invisible internal script we didn't even know was running.
Precisely. Yeah, she dedicates a whole foundational chapter to this. My subconscious made me do it. And the distinction she draws between our conscious and subconscious minds is, well, it's crucial here. Our conscious mind is the logical, analytical part, right? Where we process info, maybe worry about what others think, decide to eat healthier, whatever. But the subconscious mind, Sincero argues, believes everything without any filter, like zero filter. And this is especially true for the stuff it absorbed during our formative years, like when we were kids. So these unfiltered truths then become the absolute blueprint for our lives, steering us in directions we're often completely oblivious to.
Right. And she offers such a vivid and a frankly uncomfortable example of this in the book, doesn't she? The infamous mattress shopping experience.
Oh, freak show, Bob. Yes. It's definitely a memorable story. She recounts this incredibly awkward mattress shopping trip where the salesman insists on lying on the bed right next to her.
Oh, yeah, I remember cringing reading that.
Right. And her conscious mind was just screaming, get this guy off the bed or find a new salesman. But she just couldn't assert herself. And why? Because her family had this deeply ingrained avoidance of confrontation, passed down through generations, she says, like a killer cornbread recipe. Which is such a great line.
It is.
It's a powerful illustration of how these hidden programs lead us into uncomfortable situations we feel powerless to change. And it perfectly sets up her impactful line. It's not your fault that you're fucked up. It's your fault if you stay fucked up. It's about recognizing the pattern, and then choosing to break it.
That distinction really hits hard because, yeah, so many of us can relate to those inherited, almost unconscious behaviors. And speaking of things that subtly hold us back, she introduces a concept she calls the big snooze in Chapter 4. What exactly is this, and how does it manage to keep us so effectively stuck?
Okay, so the big snooze, or as she sometimes calls it, BS, is essentially our ego. It's the part of us that operates purely on those very limiting false beliefs we were just talking about. It's constantly seeking external validation, tends to be reactive, operates from a place of fear. And most critically, it's incredibly committed to keeping us safe within our comfort zone. That's its main job, really.
Keep things the same.
Exactly. It's what whispers doubts and reinforces separation from our true potential. But in contrast, she describes our true self, or superhero self. That's the part of us connected to what she calls source energy, which is proactive, love-based, and inherently believes in limitless potential.
And she has that fantastic analogy about the crab effect to explain how this dynamic plays out, not just internally, but like in our external relationships too.
Yes, the crab effect is so apt because it's something we've all probably witnessed or maybe even experienced ourselves. When one crab tries to climb out of the bowl, the others pull it back down. Sincero applies this to friends and family who, maybe unintentionally, react with disapproval or even ridicule when someone tries to make massive, positive changes in their life.
Right.
They might label it as irresponsible or selfish or insane. And the core reason for this, she explains, is often quite profound. Watching someone else totally go for it can be incredibly upsetting to the person who spent a lifetime building a solid case for why they themselves can't.
Yeah.
It's like a mirror reflecting their own unaddressed fears and maybe unfulfilled potential.
That's a powerful and, yeah, somewhat unsettling realization that even those closest to us can inadvertently hold us back, often out of their own fear or unconscious discomfort with our growth. And she even says that when you're taking these big steps, things can get incredibly chaotic first.
Yeah. Indeed. She's very clear on this. She says, when taking great leaps forward, life often turns to shit before it turns to shinola. And she shares client examples where things like cars crashing, water mains exploding, or even getting hit by a bus. All these seemingly random misfortunes happen just as they were pursuing major dreams.
Like really extreme example.
Yeah. And her interpretation is that this is the big snooze, creating chaos, almost like a desperate attempt to self-sabotage and keep everything familiar, rather than allowing us to move forward into the unknown, you know? It's almost as if the universe is testing your commitment, urging you to prove how badly you really want it.
Okay, so moving on from those chaotic beginnings, the book then shifts into how we can really tap into our inherent power. She introduces a concept in Chapter 2 she refers to as the G word. What's the significance of this concept beyond, say, traditional religious connotations?
Right. So for Sincero, the G word isn't about promoting any specific religion, not at all. She uses it more as an umbrella term. Could be God, goddess, the big guy, the universe, source energy, higher power, whatever resonates. The fundamental idea behind it is the universe is made of source energy. All energy vibrates at a certain frequency, and this is key. Vibration attracts like vibration.
The law of attraction, basically.
Exactly, the essence of the law of attraction. For Sincero, this isn't just a label. It's the fundamental creative force of the universe that we are all intrinsically connected to. And it's from this source that all abundance flows. It's less about a specific deity and more about the underlying energetic fabric of reality that responds to our vibration.
And she has a very relatable anecdote about her own initial skepticism with this, doesn't she? About her personal journey with it.
She does. She totally admits her initial snarkiness about the God thing.
Yeah.
She compares it to her experience with country line dancing in Albuquerque, which is hilarious. She started out making fun of it, then sort of tentatively joined in, and eventually became completely obsessed.
I love that.
The point is to keep an open mind, because as she puts it, if loving spirit is wrong, I don't want to be right. And she emphasizes that in order to truly raise your vibration, you've got to believe that everything you want is available to you. And the best way to keep this belief strong is by staying connected to source energy. This involves not just passive belief, but actively aligning your energy and, importantly, taking decisive action.
Okay, so this idea, energy and connection, leads really nicely into her concept of being present as a pigeon in Chapter 3. What exactly does it mean to be present as a pigeon, and why is it so vital for our well-being and our ability to manifest?
It's really about finding peace in the now. Sincero argues that our minds often pull us into the past, which can lead to depression, right? Or they pull us into the future, which often causes anxiety. Our constant mental chatter, which she vividly calls chasing the squirrels around our brains, it prevents us from noticing the full-blown miracle that's happening all around us, right here, right now.
That's a great image, chasing squirrels.
Isn't it? So being present means dropping into that moment and experiencing it fully, without the mental commentary.
And she uses that yoga class anecdote to illustrate this struggle so well.
Yeah, the pigeon post story. She describes being constantly distracted by the physical pain of the stretch and this frantic stream of thoughts about her to-do list until she finally just surrenders and reconnects to what she calls the zone. And she also shares that wonderful Hindu story about the lady meditating intently to meet Krishna. When he finally taps her on the shoulder, she impatiently tells him to get lost because she's too busy meditating on a very important goal.
Oh, man. Missing the whole point.
Exactly. It's a perfect metaphor for how we can literally miss opportunities and the magic of life when we're too wrapped up in our own heads and mental narratives. As Sincero puts it, it's not that the things or the opportunities that we want in life don't exist yet. It's that we are not yet aware of their existence or the fact that we can really have them.
Wow. That's a profound thought. The things we want are already here. We just need to shift our awareness to recognize them and receive them. So how do our thoughts play into this, particularly leading into her chapter, Your Brain is Your Bitch?
Well, Sincero states pretty bluntly that our thoughts are, in her view, our most powerful tools for creation. period. She quotes James Allen saying, "To think what you want to think is to think the truth, regardless of appearances."
That's a big one.
It's a radical idea for many of us, right? It means that even if your current reality looks grim, what you desire to be or have is the underlying truth. And fixating on that truth, truly believing it, and taking inspired action will ultimately manifest it. She contrasts individuals in the same coaching class. Those who succeed can literally see themselves kicking ass, believing in themselves and their mission, while others fail primarily because of a limiting mindset that just assumes impossibility from the start.
She has that fantastic story about the bartender poet who desired a Tuscan villa she couldn't possibly afford. It really exemplifies this principle.
Oh, it's a brilliant example. It's all about knowing the what without getting hung up on the how. This woman, despite her financial reality, kept her focus laser sharp on owning that Tuscan villa. She didn't dwell on how she'd get the money. She simply focused on the desire and started seeking ideas, being open. And eventually she manifested it by pre-renting blocks of time for others, creating this unique ownership model.
So creative.
Totally. And Sincero emphasizes that your job isn't to know the how, it's to know the what and to be open to discovering and receiving the how. She also suggests practical tools, like upgrading your immediate environment to reflect your desired changes, and creating vision boards to continually feed your mind with powerful images of your desires, which she says the universe then helps pull into your reality.
Right, those visual cues. Okay, so we've looked at how our subconscious can run the show and how we can tap into a larger universal energy. Now, let's talk about practical application and really embracing your inner badass. Self-perception is a zoo. Great chapter title states, it's as easy to believe we're awesome as it is to believe we're giant sucking things. So how do we actually nurture that belief in our own greatness, especially when those old patterns want to kick in?
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? This is where Love the One You Is, Chapter 6, becomes incredibly powerful. It's presented as perhaps the simplest yet most transformative thing you can do, self-love. And according to Sincero, it means truly appreciating your inherent uniqueness, recognizing that you are the only you there is and ever will be, like really getting that. It's about forgiving yourself for past perceived mistakes and deliberately choosing to embrace compassion, joy, and gratitude for who you are right now, flaws and all.
And she gives a practical tool for this, right? Something as straightforward as affirmations.
Yes, she's a huge advocate for drowning yourself in affirmations, which sounds intense, but yeah. She suggests repeating powerful phrases like, I'm brilliant, bright, and beautiful, or I am one with the universe is awesome, and so am I. But the crucial distinction she stresses is that it's not just about mindlessly saying the words. You have to feel them.
Just feel it in your body.
Exactly. Feel them deeply in your body. That emotional resonance is what truly rewires the brain and shifts your vibrational energy.
Okay, so from self-love, we move to the critical step of commitment, leading us to the almighty decision in Chapter 23. So what does this all mean for actually getting things done, moving beyond just wishing and into true manifestation?
It means making a true decision, a no-nonsense, no going-back commitment, not just kind of deciding. She illustrates this powerfully with the Henry Ford V8 engine story. Remember that one?
Vaguely, yeah. Remind me.
So his engineers repeatedly told him casting all 8 cylinders in one block was impossible. They tried everything, failed, kept telling him it couldn't be done. But Ford's unwavering decision and tenacity, his absolute refusal to accept impossible, eventually pushed them to discover how to do it. This shows that so often we pretend we've made a decision, when what we've really done is signed up to try until it gets too uncomfortable.
Oof, yeah, that hits home.
A true decision eliminates all other possibilities in your mind. You're just going to find a way.
It's about that tenacity. She even says that the only failure is quitting.
Exactly. Everything else is just gathering information. That's such a reframe. She reminds us of incredibly successful people like Michael Jordan, Steven Spielberg, Thomas Edison, all of whom faced repeated failures or setbacks, but they never quit. Their stories reinforce the idea that setbacks are not stopping points, but merely data points, valuable lessons on the path to success.
So each perceived failure is just information. I like that.
Yeah, it's information guiding you closer to the right solution, or a different path, maybe.
Okay, but one of the biggest obstacles for many of us, myself included sometimes, is fear. How does she suggest confronting that? It's explored in Fear is for Suckers.
Right, Chapter 20. Sincero acknowledges that fear will always be there. It's not about eliminating fear entirely. Her central point is that we can choose whether we're going to engage with it or turn on the lights, drown it out, and crawl past it. She recounts a truly terrifying personal experience in a dark cave in the Jemez Mountains, like seriously scary. She describes realizing the absolute darkest darkness of beyond pitch black, holy fucking shit, deepest, darkest blackness ever, feeling utterly disoriented and paralyzed by fear.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yet she made the conscious choice to calmly crawl out, one hand in front of the other, focusing just on the next move. And this intense experience led to her core insight. On the other side of your fear is your freedom. It's about recognizing fear's presence but not letting it paralyze you. Instead, using it as a signal, like, okay, a growth opportunity here.
Wow. So fear is just a signpost, almost. And she even connects this mindset of decision and overcoming fear directly to money, right? In Money, Your New Best Friends. That's a topic that brings up a lot of fear and limiting beliefs for so many people.
Absolutely. And she tackles it head on. She explains money not just as currency, but as pure energy. It's about shifting from a scarcity mindset, the belief that money is hard to get or that you're not worthy of it, to one of abundance. Sincero argues that when you truly up-level your idea of what's possible and decide to really go for it, you open yourself up to the means to accomplish it as well.
So it's not just about wanting it, it's about believing it's possible for you.
Exactly. This isn't about ignoring financial reality or being irresponsible. It's about understanding that your belief system around money directly impacts your ability to attract it and create it. If you believe money is hard to come by, guess what? You'll likely find it hard. If you believe it flows freely and is a tool for good, you open yourself to new avenues of income and opportunities. She connects it directly to your willingness to value yourself and your gifts too. If you don't believe you're worthy of wealth, you'll unconsciously push it away.
That makes sense.
It's about changing your mindset, aligning your energy with financial abundance, and trusting that what you're willing to believe and act on can bring in the resources you need to support your awesome life.
Okay, so we've taken quite a journey here, understanding our limiting beliefs, tapping into our inner power and connection to something larger. And now we're equipped with the mindset and tools to take decisive action. It really is about a complete paradigm shift, isn't it?
It really is. And it's a continuous process, which Sincero makes very clear with her phrase, new level, new devil. I love that one.
Yeah, that's good.
Each breakthrough you achieve doesn't mean life suddenly becomes effortless. No way. Instead, it leads to new challenges, new fears to overcome, and new versions of the big snooze that might try to pull you back. But embracing these new challenges is precisely how we evolve and continue to grow into our true badass selves. It's not a one-time fix, but more like a lifelong practice of showing up for yourself again and again.
Right. Which brings us back to one of the most provocative and honestly liberating thoughts in the book, from chapter 27. Why not? The book really urges you to give yourself permission and the means to be who you are, regardless of what anybody else thinks or believes is possible. It's such a powerful call to action, to stop denying yourself the life you want to live because you're worried you're not good enough or that it's too risky or whatever. Because, as she says, when you live your life doing the things that truly turn you on, that bring you genuine joy, you walk around so lit up that you literally shoot sunbeams out of your eyeballs. And, well, a world that literally depends upon light to survive could certainly use more of that energy, right?
Absolutely. So maybe as you reflect on all this, consider this question. What is one small, bold, why not decision you can make today? What's one step you can take right now to start living your most awesome life?